Kim Jong Un is many things: a ruthless dictator, a nuclear-armed despot, and a master of propaganda. But perhaps the most surprising and disturbing aspect of his reign is the sheer, unapologetic excess of his personal lifestyle. While his people struggle with poverty, malnutrition, and oppression, the North Korean leader lives a life of unimaginable luxury, surrounded by all the trappings of wealth and privilege that money can buy. From his sprawling network of palaces and private islands to his fleet of high-end cars and private jets, Kim's indulgences know no bounds, and he's willing to go to any lengths, including exploiting illicit international smuggling networks, to maintain this lavish standard of living. So join us as we dive deep into the shocking details of how Kim Jong Un spends his massive $100 billion fortune. Nuke-proof palaces and a personal Ibiza. When it comes to Kim Jong Un's lavish lifestyle, we have to start with his real estate portfolio, and it's truly staggering in its excess. This North Korean dictator doesn't just have one or two fancy homes, oh no! He's got a mind-boggling 17 palaces scattered around the country, each one more extravagant than the last. Perhaps the most impressive of these palatial retreats is the one located in the city of Wonsan. This particular palace boasts its own 500-meter airstrip, allowing Kim to jet in and out at a moment's notice. But even that pales in comparison to his main residence, the central luxury mansion in the capital city of Pyongyang. This place is the stuff of Bond villain dreams, a nuclear attack-proof fortress protected by multiple military units, high-voltage electric fences, and even minefields. It's a veritable fortress, with tunnels connecting it to some of Kim's other properties, as well as its own private train station beneath the grounds. It's the ultimate in isolated, impenetrable luxury. But when the supreme leader really wants to get away from it all, he can retreat to his own private party island. According to former NBA player Dennis Rodman, who's actually had the privilege of visiting this island oasis, it's like going to Hawaii or Ibiza. Except Kim is the only one who gets to enjoy it. Rodman described the island as having around 50 to 60 normal people there at all times, drinking cocktails and laughing the whole time. And if you want the really good stuff, like top-shelf tequila, Kim's got the best of the best. But Kim's personal island getaway isn't the only one he has at his disposal. The North Korean leader also owns a trio of beautiful islands, Sado, Tongdok-do, and Cheon-do, each with its own set of luxury villas and recreational facilities. According to reports, the villa on one of these islands was described as being like a 7-star luxury hotel. When you look at satellite imagery of these islands, you can see that they are well organized, with established docks and other infrastructure to accommodate Kim's lavish lifestyle. It's clear that a tremendous amount of resources and money have been poured into maintaining these private getaways for the supreme leader and his inner circle. Luxury cars, mystery yachts, and more. When it comes to rides, being the supreme leader of North Korea, it's not enough to just have a few fancy cars in your garage. Kim Jong Un has taken his love of luxury vehicles to the next level, amassing a collection that would make even the most ardent car enthusiast drool. Let's start with his personal fleet of Mercedes-Benz and BMW models. We're talking about 100 or more of these high-end European cars that he's managed to import despite sanctions. He's even been spotted behind the wheel of a specially armored Mercedes Maybach S 650 sedan worth over $200,000. And it's not just sedans. Kim has been known to use Lexus SUVs and Ford vans as part of his motorcade as well. But cars aren't the only mode of transportation in Kim's lavish arsenal. There have also been reports of him owning a mysterious yacht, estimated to be worth around $7 million. While North Korean state media has shown Kim aboard boats before, the ownership of this particular luxury vessel has never been officially confirmed. It's just another example of the secrecy and opulence that surrounds the supreme leader's lifestyle. And if boating and driving aren't enough to satisfy his thirst for the finer things, Kim can always retreat to one of his other extravagant toys, his private ski resort. The Masikryong Ski Resort, which cost a staggering $35 million to build in just 10 months, is outfitted with all the amenities a dictator could desire, including an Olympic-sized swimming pool, shooting range, and even a water slide. The fact that this lavish resort was constructed with the labor of North Korean citizens, including children as young as 11, speaks volumes about Kim's disregard for his own people. While he's enjoying the slopes and leisure facilities, his countrymen are struggling to survive on meager rations and crumbling infrastructure. From his fleet of luxury cars to his rumored yacht and private ski resort, the Supreme Leader has managed to create a lifestyle that is the polar opposite of the hardships faced by the North Korean population. And he's done it all while tightening his grip on power and pouring resources into the country's nuclear weapons program. How Kim Jong Un travels abroad. While Kim Jong Un certainly lives a life of luxury within the borders of North Korea, his extravagant tastes and security concerns also come into play when he needs to travel abroad. And let me tell you, the lengths this guy goes to in order to get from point A to point B are truly remarkable. For starters, Kim Jong Un has a fleet of airplanes at his disposal, including a Soviet-made Ilyushin 62 long-range jet that's been nicknamed Shami-1 by locals. This plane has all the modern amenities you'd expect, and Kim has even been photographed working and holding meetings on board. He's also been seen using a Ukrainian-made Antonov 148 plane, complete with North Korea's state airline logo. But planes aren't the only mode of transport for the Supreme Leader. Kim is also known to travel by train, following in the footsteps of his father and grandfather. In fact, the tradition of taking the train on long-distance trips dates back to Kim Il-sung, the founder of North Korea. These armored trains are said to be outfitted with all the luxuries you could imagine, from fine French wines and fresh lobster to entertainment by live performers. The reason Kim prefers the train over flying likely has to do with security concerns. These heavily guarded, slow-moving locomotives allow for more control over his travel route and protection from potential threats. The trains even have the capability to switch between North Korean and Russian rail gauges at the border, ensuring a seamless journey. When Kim does decide to fly, he's not taking any chances. Reports indicate he uses not one, but 3 separate planes, with 2 of them acting as decoys to keep his actual arrival time and location a secret. This kind of hypervigilance is a reflection of the paranoia that comes with being the supreme leader of such an isolated and antagonistic regime. And it's not just the mode of transportation that's over the top. The vehicles Kim uses within the countries he visits are also the height of luxury. For example, when he traveled to Beijing in 2018, he arrived by train, but then used his personal Mercedes-Benz S-Class limousine, worth around $1.8 million, to get around the city. This car was apparently specially transported on the train just for his use. Kim's convoy of armored vehicles is also quite impressive, with reports of him being surrounded by large tanks and machine gun-equipped military trucks whenever he's out in public. This display of firepower is no doubt intended to project an image of strength and power, even as he's being ferried around in his custom limos. It's clear that Kim Jong Un spares no expense or effort when it comes to ensuring his safety and comfort, whether he's traveling within North Korea or venturing out into the world. From his fleet of planes and trains to his lavish limousines and heavily armed escorts, this dictator lives a life of luxury that's a world away from the hardships faced by the North Korean people. Kim Jong Un's extravagant tastes. When it comes to Kim Jong Un's lavish lifestyle, the excesses don't stop at just fancy cars, yachts, and ski resorts. No, the Supreme Leader has a penchant for the finer things in life that extends all the way to his personal eating and drinking habits. Let's start with his diet. Kim is known to have a taste for the most decadent and expensive foodstuffs imaginable, including foie gras, lobster, and caviar. But his real weakness seems to be for Emmental cheese. The guy reportedly developed a love for the Swiss delicacy during his time studying in the country as a youth. And he's not just enjoying a slice or two. Estimates suggest North Korea imports around $900,000 worth of high-end Brazilian coffee and Emmental cheese every year, with Kim and his inner circle hogging it all. Of course, Kim's culinary indulgences don't stop there. He's also partial to imported Kobe beef from Japan, as well as shark fin soup, a dish that's contributing to the decline of shark populations worldwide. And let's not forget the reports that he has an entire team of personal chefs who travel with him, spending up to an hour tasting each of his meals to ensure they haven't been poisoned. And when it comes to Kim picking his own poison, he ships in thousands of bottles of whiskey from all over the world for his personal enjoyment every year. Estimates suggest he spends around $21 million per year importing luxury booze like Hennessy, which can cost over $1,500 a bottle. And if he's in the mood for something a little different, he's apparently a fan of snake wine, a traditional Chinese spirit that features a whole snake submerged in the bottle. And what would an extravagant dictator's lifestyle be without some fancy cigars? Well, Kim Jong Un has that covered too. He's been spotted smoking designer cigarettes made by French fashion house Yves Saint Laurent, which can cost $31 per pack here in the US. The North Korean dictator is also known to have quite the penchant for high-end luxury goods and indulgences. Take his personal collection of wristwatches, for example. Estimates suggest this collection is worth over $8 million, with the supreme leader even being spotted wearing a $10,000 IWC Portofino watch during a nuclear missile test. It's truly mind-boggling to think about the sheer amount of money Kim spends on indulging his personal tastes, especially when you consider the dire conditions that most North Koreans are forced to endure. While the majority of the population struggles with food insecurity and a crumbling infrastructure, their supreme leader is living it up, feasting on the rarest delicacies and sipping on the finest liquors. And the really disturbing part is that Kim isn't just splurging on these luxuries for himself. He's also using them as a way to maintain power and control over his inner circle. By showering his top officials and cronies with these extravagant gifts, he ensures their continued loyalty and obedience. It's yet another example of how Kim leverages his wealth and privilege to cement his authoritarian grip on North Korea. So, the next time you hear about Kim Jong Un demanding the lifting of sanctions on luxury goods, just remember it's probably for his own indulgences. It's a chilling reminder of the human cost of unchecked greed and the dangers of absolute power in the hands of a ruthless, self-serving dictator. The story of Kim Jong Un's obscene wealth and opulent lifestyle is a disturbing testament to the dangers of unchecked power and the human cost of a leader's insatiable greed. But we've only scratched the surface. To learn more about the leaders worldwide, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to stay up to date on all the latest developments.